Our position, therefore, is simple. Those who are serious about expanding their interests in Africa must necessarily see Nigeria, the powerhouse in the region, as the gateway to the continent. I make this point because we're not seeing enough of that at the present time. There is a vacuum currently. And the reality is that no other country can take your place. You once had a significant presence on our continent and identify strongly with the struggles of African nations, even naming a university here in Moscow after the great Patrice Lumumba, one of Africa's most potent independence heroes. That was the kind of engagement we saw in the Soviet era. In this new age, which is abandoned promises, we must rekindle the fire that once warmed Russia-Africa relationship. Indeed, Russia should take its rightful seat in engagement with Africa. There is great value in Africa-Russia ties, and it is in both interests to nurture it. We therefore anticipate your future strategy will factor in closer relations with Africa, starting with my country, Nigeria. Nigeria's leadership role in Africa is unassailable. Improved relationship with us will be a definitive pathway to a stronger relationship with the continent. Let us therefore pledge to revitalize the ties between our two countries. It is important at this point to stress that the relationship we seek is one based on partnership. We recognize that aid alone will no longer sufficiently tackle the challenges ahead. Partnership, on the other hand, will open the door to new investment and other opportunities. It is for these reasons that we in Nigeria are putting a lot of effort in ensuring that we build a strong foundation for the future. And one of the ways we're doing that is by deepening links with other parliaments, such as yourselves, because legislation is a necessary key to unlocking potentials of our people. I therefore come to you today as an economic ambassador of Africa's largest economy. Our economy is increasingly stable and offers immense potential for investment. Our people are self-motivated, ambitious, and seeking new opportunities and avenues to make their mark in the dynamic world of today. And I say to you, let us work together to explore new and exciting areas of cooperation and economic opportunities that will be mutually beneficial to our people. For us, there are compelling arguments for looking for Russia. I say these for obvious reasons, that our two countries share certain striking similarities. Our two nations are among the 10 most populous countries in the world, and among the top 10 in gas reserves. With a population of nearly 190 million people, Nigeria is set to surpass the United States of America as the third most populous country in the world by 2050. In terms of diversity, Russia had 190 ethnic groupings, is not too far behind Nigeria's 250 ethnic groupings. As a fellow oil-producing nation, we do believe that Russia has a keen insight on some of the challenges we face in Nigeria. Your work in stabilizing the macroeconomic framework of your economy is admirable, as noted by the IMF, which recently appraised your country as saving for a rainy day, letting the exchange rate float, and shoring up the banking system. As your economy, like ours, recovers from recession, we say that part of the consolidation process must be a stronger focus on Africa and in Nigeria in particular. With Russia and Nigeria projected to be the largest economies in Europe and Africa in just 3 decades from now, it would be a travesty if we do not strive to strengthen cooperation and partnership to reap the gains in terms of GDP growth. As a country with the greatest gas reserves on earth, Russia should be a leading player in Africa, oil and gas sector. Stronger collaboration for gas development will help Nigeria solve its acute problems of power generation. The time is ripe to redefine this relationship. Ours is the second largest film industry in the world, and contemporary Nigerian music has gone global. I will not be surprised if Nigerian stars like Timaya, Whiskey, Davido are all selling your concert halls in Moscow, in St. Petersburg very soon, as they've been doing so all over the world. We have been doing well in these areas and also in the area of sports, and particularly, as I said, we hope to do even more in the World Cup tournament going on. Anyway, we have already won one trophy before the Cup final is over, because the Super Eagles kit was being described as the best kit in the tournaments. So we already have acclaimed as the best national kit in Russia 2018. Naturally, we hope that we also will be the best when we're on the field. Fellow parliamentarians, there are many other issues that call for closer collaboration. We must address the issue of terrorism and human trafficking. Russia is currently one of the destinations where young Nigerians are trafficked for sexual exploitation. This is a worrying phenomenon for both our countries, and we should develop common strategies to tackle this problem. Terrorism is a global threat, which affects all. And we look to Russia to join us in bigger, stronger collaboration for the fight against this common enemy. Terrorism, Boko Haram sect, has been a problem for us in our country. When at the height of crisis, we had difficulty obtaining international support, Russia members saved the day by supplying us with military equipment and assisting us with the training of our personnel. We are grateful. We're grateful that you did not abandon us in our hour of need. We thank you for this support, and we hope as we continue to go ahead, we will work for greater and stronger collaboration in this area. As members of Parliament, we know better the most absolute indispensability of democratic governance. Parliament is a symbol of democracy, and we have a role to play to our people. We recall the strategic role Russia plays in world peace and cooperation on development. For example, your contribution in trying to find a lasting solution to the crisis in Syria, your role in bringing stability to global oil prices by your cooperation agreement with OPEC countries. With the recent call by one of the G7 countries for your return to the G8, it is clear from the above that you have a role to play. We urge you to look at the bigger picture and make the sacrifices or concessions that will bring you back fully to that table in the interest of the countries that will benefit from your role and your partnership with the global community. The world needs Russia, and Russia needs the world too. And with that, other continents like Africa and Asia will benefit from that. If we take a look at China-Africa and United States-Africa relationship, you will find out that Russia is probably doing less trade with Africa in comparison with the true position you occupy in the Committee of Nations. Nigeria certainly leads stronger cooperation with Russia, and we hope that Russia can see that for global progress. There's a usual saying that if you don't tell your story, other people will tell it differently, and this may not be a true reflection of you. I commend Madam Speaker's commitment to strengthening and ensuring that the upper chamber continues to play its role, providing the framework to provide shared prosperity. In closing, permit me to express once again my delight in being here in your beautiful country. It has been a most pleasant experience. I must confess that until my visit last year, I had not given much thought to how little I knew about your country. For most people around the world, they have to go on to the portrayals in the Hollywood films or biased media, which more invariably than not cast Russian characters as actual villains, the bad guys. The time has come for the world to get a measure of the real Russia. I urge you, therefore, that you should consider more ways to enable other people experience the rich culture of this wonderful country, its arts, architecture, and history, and best of all, the warmth of its people. The ongoing World Cup is a great opportunity to foster a better understanding of your country, and it is my hope that you build upon this. Football is indeed a unifying force, as President Putin declared days ago at the opening ceremony. His words, Russia is an open, hospitable, and friendly country, should ring truly regarding your country's image in the global imagination from now on. As for me and my delegation, we look to many more visits to the Russian Federation. It is my hope that today signals a new phase in the Nigeria-Russia relationship, as shaped by interparliamentary cooperation in particular, and that these strong relationships will be of immense benefit to our people. Once again, I thank you very much, Madam Speaker, distinguished lawmakers, for inviting me and my delegation for these worthy interactions. We leave the Russia Federation with fond memories and a renewed assurance of our long-lasting cordial relationship. It is my hope that when in future we're reaping the benefits of a greater relationship between Russia, Nigeria, and the rest of Africa, we'll be able to say that it was as a result of the foundation laid by both parliaments here today. I thank you for your time, and I thank you for your interest in our country. I thank you.
Thank you. Your Excellency, thank you very much for a very interesting speech. See you later. Thank you. Thank you.